Now I'm curious, do they pick up that first pick? Do they go to the blue side? And let's get that confirmation in a bit. ALPHA7, I like the gameplay. I like the fact that they prioritize mortar as well, but maybe there should be a change.
Yeah, just a little change, right? I mean, this only works when Benignus is ahead, and that's kind of like the thing that didn't really have Influence Rage in that game one. They didn't have the intel that was going to be the case, that was their win condition, was get Benignus ahead, let him get that quadra kill towards the end, just get him big fed with the Eye Phoenix, the blazing capes, all that good stuff for an Orgrin, and then basically everyone else can just be the support beams.
Oh, for sure. Now, the big question I also have is, like, do we want to ban out the Da Chao, right? Was Da Chao that big of a problem?
I think the Lung is more of a problem because those Flaming Palms, like, yes, the Chao was able to kind of be very oppressive with the Eye of the Warpools, with the recalls as well for the Zhangfei, but when you get to the meat and gravy of it, right, that the Lung towards the end of that game hits so hard.
Okay, so it feels like to me ALPHA7 wants to prioritize the early.
Yeah, I mean, the Lung's been taken out, the Dolia as well, and so is the Hu Huan and the Masashi, so they could give over the Dune again for the side of Influence Rage, depending on what they go for blue here, right? I mean, they have the likes of the Diadea, they have the Ali up for display, they have the Mai Shiranui as well, so there's plenty of few things that could come through on this prior pick, but they are going to go for the Dune themselves.
Okay, interesting. Now, this is a different flavor for sure. So they feel like the Dune was one of the main reasons why Influence Rage won that game so hard. Do you agree with this thought process?
I mean, we'll see, right? We'll see how Benignus plays on the Dune, or if it depends to go onto Mana Frieza, right? It could be a support flex.
Yeah, for the record, ALPHA7 in the Brazilian league, they were actually 4-0 with the Dune. So there's a lot of history with it. They know how to play this one.
ALPHA7?
ALPHA7?
4-0.
4-0 in the Brazilian league. And
this technically is the Brazilian. Yeah, for one series.
They brought it here. That's what I'm saying.
They're just fighting in a different place.
Yeah, but the Lianpo and the Ali, I think we all expected the Ali to be one of the two prior picks on red side, right? Because when it's available, it's best just to kind of either lock in your farm lane duo, or that Lianpo could go up into the clash lane, as we know other clash laners within the Brazilian region like Niap go for that, but it is going to be the Mai Shiranui that gets to be picked up in the third and second pick on the side of ALPHA7, the Lady's Son as well.
I think it's a huge risk for the side of ALPHA7 because it requires the absolute advantage for two of your picks here. You need the Mai to be having the advantage. You need her to have the lead. You need Dune to have the lead as well.
Bro, Monkey with the Dream Roll, and then that's going to be followed through with the Tremor Smash, or even like the Magma Slam, right? So once you connect those two up, and if they hit more than 3 of the side of ALPHA7, it's going to be hard for them, especially the squishier kind of heroes that they have right now, because the only front line they really have is the Dune.
Also, bear in mind that this takes attention away from Petroni. And we all see what happens when you leave marksmen alone, you leave the farm lane alone, they will take your life.
Yes, they will. But right now, we can see what they're going to be banning here. They go for the Ming ban, just in case ALPHA7 are going to try and take the Ming and Lady Sun combo, which we saw earlier by Team Vitality. ALPHA7 do take out the Princess Frost. Again, another oppressive tool that you don't want to be seeing, or you don't want the Winter because you're not a Winter fan.
Well, I think they already know that the Ming is going to be banned. So they are looking for something else to pair up. Zhangfei ban? No, right?
No.
Zhangfei maybe?
Potentially. I mean, the Motsu ban comes through there, so they don't want Mana Frieza to get that pick once more. But going into this team comp, I feel like the Motsu wouldn't do great, right? Because if it lands onto Monkey, it doesn't really matter. He can just generate shield. If it lands onto the Lianpo, he can just use the Magma Smash and the CC immunity. But it is going to be the Hino ban.
Yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be really important because if you miss the chance, right, damage over time is one of his specialties. So Hano with the Scepters of Fate, not fun to play with. And I mean, you don't want to have that big of a risk. Hano needs farm as well, right? And you don't want to put this way into the late game because by then, so the Mankey and Lianpo will be survivable enough to buy time for the early.
Yeah, you really need to pull all your resources into the early, but in about 6 seconds, we'll start to see what they decide to go for on Influence Rage. They're still looking for potentially their mid lane and their either Clash or support role, because again, Lianpo could be either of those right now, but it's going to be the Lady Gen.
Yep, Lady Chen. Very good with the Destructive Deluge here. Maybe able to catch out Benignus when he dives a little bit too predictably into the front lines of Influence Rage.
Yes, it's going to be very hurtful. The Destructive Deluge is just going to act exactly the same as the Winter is coming for ALPHA7 against the Dune in Game 1, right? So they are just trying to basically make sure that they've got to mitigate that. The Unruly Blade needs to come through them, but it's going to be the Dharma and the Zhongfei coming through for ALPHA7. We know how well the Zhongfei played for the side of Influence Rage in Game 2.
Okay, I am positive that we have good Dharmas in this competition, but for this particular draft itself, I'm not sure if Freaks is going to be able to hit the marker with this Dharma. Not because of his personal skill, but simply because of the way that the roster operates on Influence Rage. They don't really stick together. They're always going to be in bits and pieces around that fight.
Oh yeah, I mean, the ones who are going to get into the thick of it, right, is the Monkey and the Liempo. Those are the ones going to be diving in, but then you got the likes of the Lady Jen and the Ali that are going to be just sticking around the outsides, and then you might see the Elaine come through there as well, so the Death on Sunset's going to be another way into this team fight just to try and control ALPHA7 or funnel them.
Yep, I'm leaning more towards the Influence Rage draft once again, but it's not about what we think, and it's not about the talk. It's about the walk.
Yes, it's about how you execute this into the Gorge, because you can pick all those top tier picks within your composition, but if you can't operate and execute, it's basically as good as a chocolate fire guard.
Yep, so ALPHA7, they would have been better executors in game number 1. Influence Rage mirrored that performance in game number 2. This time, it is a true test. Who is better than the other?
Yeah, who's more consistent at actually executing their draft?
The crazy part about all this is that, the loser actually might just go home, right? So you're sending your comrade, so to speak, home. Kind of not a great position to be in at times.
Absolutely. I mean, because ALPHA7 could go on through to this and actually go into a potential tiebreaker, but hey, we got some invades.
Yeah, a little bit of an invade. Beninga's still out in front, continuing to fight, not really scared, taking a decent amount of damage. I think he needs to be a little bit careful. The Leaping Saber is on point, but the Burst Ram in return, and then Beningas is looking to go down. He's going to give up first blood to Petroni, and everyone else from Influence Rage survive. That was a bad level 1 invade.
Yeah, that was a hard one for the side of ALPHA7. Now the game is essentially gone for the side of Benignus, because now we have Raikou who is already level 2, gonna complete the first rotations on his jungle camps, and I don't know, he's gonna be having a level deficit right from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, the Monkey pick's great, right? We saw there in the early game, he's recently just had a buff about his base defense, so maybe this buff is the thing that kind of makes him a early game hero now, because before, if you try to do an early invade onto the Monkey and Monkey be your front line, it's a bit of a struggle, right? But now that he has that extra base damage, base defense, sorry, he's able to take it on the chin.
Yep, these first-time bubbles are gonna hurt you so bad. And with that being said, at level 4 already, at the 1 minute and 45-second mark, he's gonna try and make that deficit even harder and bigger. The gap is going to be wide. Raikou does steal that camp.
Yeah, I mean, a lot came from that engage, right? It stopped the tempo of ALPHA7, and they also able to get the kill, so that now puts them in a good lead for the gold.
Yep, and Almighty here struggling to keep up pace because there's 3 different members from the side of Influence Rage.
Oh, they're looking to go. The Death at Sunset just used defensively. Sony does survive. He dodges Beningas here.
Yep. But to no avail, right? Right now, they're also having a lot of mobility on the side of Influence Rage. How do you catch that?
Yeah, I mean, they probably don't. You try and just dodge it, right? You just like, hey, there's a Death on Sunset coming through, guys. Let's move out the way. Let's try and not funnel ourselves into the same area of effect. But right now, ALPHA7 still behind with the gold, not as much as before, but they are just trying to make sure that they can kind of maintain this lead and give over any of the resources over to Almighty.
Okay, but Benignus, he does recover quite well. He is mirrored level with Raikou as well, but right now, the jungle might be threatened. Crimson Golden Opening.
Oh, the Death at Sunset used defensively again. Always been knocked back with the Truth, as well as the Shinobi. Sony's just getting chased up, and Freaks is looking to dodge as he has the Enlightenment, and they have the Kachosen, and he takes him down.
Punch to the face in the air, and what a painful one. 1-to-1 is tied up now. ALPHA7 wrestling back control.
Yep, nullifying that kill lead from the side of Influence Rage is now ALPHA7 with the rage of the Mai Shinobi. Speaking of rage, man up Razor.
Yep.
Not enough damage. In fact, Petroni is the one suffering. Yep, so they are not going to get the kill, but Almighty, this is a good start, right? Based on what happened in the first minute of the game, I think ALPHA7 has recovered quite beautifully.
Yeah, really well, right? I mean, they're just trying to make sure that they're able to maintain Petroni. I mean, that's the kind of final fight, right? Is which of the farm lanes is actually going to shine out on top?
Yeah. Energy core built up by both sides actually trying to get into that blazing cape. That's going to reduce the shield hang on.
Oh, they got the Snowy. They push him back. Cozy actually flashes to safety. Cozy with the fast fingers, keeping him again alive here.
Okay, and the neutral objectives are open as well. Raikou, he is going to be in charge of getting this first objective for the team. Probably looking at Tyrant because they want to continue fighting as well. Monofrizer in the middle of 4.
Yeah, more damage is better than no damage.
Going in, Freaks gets him with him. Oh, he misses the truth. The Umbrella Outburst does connect, though. They push him back, but at what cost? Tyrant is at half. The Death at Sunset on top. Bilal looking to go for this one. He goes for the Burst Ram, but they're taking so much damage. It's just from the backside. Sony does get killed, though. It's going to be 1 for 2 in favor of ALPHA7.
Everything goes right for ALPHA7. They make the mark here. Not only did they get the steal, they got the kills as well. 2 down for this side of Influence Rage, and ALPHA7 take the lead for the first time.
Yeah, I think the only way that could have been better, right, is if they're able to take one of the T1s, either in the mid lane or the farm lane. But hey, you take everything that you can from these early team fights, and that's the way you're going to win this one. But let's see this replay, man. I mean, it was a big engage. We saw that Benignis was able to get in there, steal it, but then from that point, A7 Freaks was able to take out Sony into the back lane.
Yeah, Monofrizer actually saving his team there with the Leaping Savior because Bilal and Sony, they were trying very hard to jump onto the backlines. And everyone on the backlines of ALPHA7 were extremely low. So they felt like, hey, they needed to commit, and that was a wrong call.
The run call, indeed. I mean, they kind of just underestimated Benignis in that fight, right? He was like, hey, he's not going to outsmite me. I can do this. I'm in the Tyrant pool.
Oh, they're looking to go for this one. Sony gets him with a Meteor kill, pushing him back. He's under tower. Sony, Death at Sunsets. He's going to just de-aggro the tower. Villau throws out the Burst Ram, but now on the backside, Benignis looking to just kind of cut off the line of retreat, but I think ALPHA7 have bigger fish to fry and maybe go for that Overlord, but Benignis still sticking around. Monofrizer is going to be there. They have the Wind Slash onto Villau. Monofrizer still up in front. He's got the Forbidden Domain. Throws out those bubbles by Raikou. The Umbrella Outburst completely whiffing. I've done that, so that's kind of a little embarrassing there.
Yeah. As long as you've done it, you can relate to it. That's all that matters, right, Hauler?
I feel his pain.
They were almost wasting time though, because at this point, Petroni was actually working hard on the T1 on the bot, did not successfully take it down, so it is still some form of advantage for A7.
Yeah, big knock up there from the Wind Slash onto Raikou, but what else is that going to achieve other than just kind of keep the monkey away from your teammates? But right now, it is very, very close, right? Other than the neutral objectives, it's going over to the side of ALPHA7, and there is no choice to be taken down here, but that may change when Freaks gets his hands on that T1 in the Clash lane, but Sony is looking to say, hey, no, hands off my T1.
Okay, so now Curious 0-2 and 0, but somehow he is just trailing by about 300 gold for Mr. Benignis.
Yeah, I mean, he's not too far behind. I mean, even the Clash lane, right, that's not too far behind either. The real separation we're trying to look at is who is ahead of the gold lead in the farm lane. And right now, it's looking like Petroni is having his way with that one.
Yeah, Petroni now already having 2 core items instead of one on the side of Almighty here. A nice catch. The shield does come in, and this
Freaks.
is the target.
They've got the truth. They've knocked him back with the Meteor kill. The flash away. Freaks not able to get away. It was a huge rotation. All 5 members. It looks like they're going to turn this into a conversion with the top lane, but they need the minions first.
Okay, 3 kills each, and at this point, 7.5 minutes in, we might be looking at the next big fight.
Yeah, I mean, the fight will definitely happen around either the neutral objective or into the mid lane. I mean, Influence Rage's mid T1 is pretty low.
Okay, Almighty, he's level 10. So at this point, if Raikou or Sony actually get it into the backlines, he is not going to survive at all.
Not at all. I mean, that T1 now open into the mid lane means that Benignis gets a lot more freedom.
You have to explore the map, right? At this point, vision is really important, and they will go.
Oh, Sony uses Death at Sunset. Again, defensively, keeps himself alive, but again, he's used, I think, 3 or 4 this game just to keep himself alive.
Yep.
Yes, sir. That's the good thing about Death on Sunset. Even though like it's normally paired with the Dahlia, so you can have a little bit more chance to use it defensively. But right now, it's looking like he's only got that means too because he's playing on the back foot.
Okay, so let's be honest. This game is so tight because both teams, they're unwilling to commit. They have the options to pick and choose which fight they want to go in for as well. And so far, I think it's a slight advantage going into Influence Rage.
Yeah, very, very slight. I mean, the gold lead is it's literally heads or tails, right? You can get a few minions here and there. Monkey looking like he could have been in trouble there. Just trying to clear that minion wave. They really want to hold on to that T2 in that mid lane for now. But the neutral objectives coming up once more. You're kind of seeing A7 go towards that Tyrant.
Yep, they want to rush this, right? So it will be good for them because they want to protect themselves from dangerous fights. And here we go, the potential still not going to happen, but Nickness does secure the Tyrant for the team. 1 minute away before darkness sets in, and we have the shadow versions of the objectives.
Yes, and that's when things come a little bit more frisky in the Gorge. We've got around about your 46 seconds on that one as well. But we do see that Nickness is able to get that T2 down into the farm lane, so again, more.
Yeah, they're looking for a big fight here.
Unbridled Outburst, but it's going to only connect it to Cozy. They do end up finding him. They want to go for the Tremor Smash, the Burst Ram away, but Lau, he's been chased by the Unruly Blade, and he gets sniped in the end. Almighty just picking him off with that rolling raid. The Meteor kill is actually not going to do too much. The Death at Sunset just to keep himself alive, but with 3 members down, he's been knocked up with a Wind Slash, and Almighty says, I will take that.
It's the worst kind of surprise for the side of Influence Rage, but the best kind of present for the side of ALPHA7 as well. Patroni had just gotten that Eternity Blade, and let's see how this fight went. Ori for the side. Cozy unable to provide any value because he was dead. No more Destructive Deluge, no more deterrence as well. And Almighty was just having the time of his life, rolling in gold, rolling in damage.
Yeah, you kind of saw it there. Like Patroni was kind of like to the mid lane side of the fight, like around this wall, hoping to try and get as much damage as possible from a safe distance. But then, hey, we saw the Dharma came from out of nowhere. Freaks was like pop up and then gone.
Yep, and from a balance of about maybe 300 gold between the two teams, it is now a 5,000 gold lead going to the side of ALPHA7.
Stonks, baby, stonks. We get lots of gold going over to the side of ALPHA7 for right now. We do have the shadow alternatives of the neutral objectives. The Tyrant has already been taken by the side of ALPHA7, so a lot of damage going into this next team fight that maybe brewed up into the Clash lane, maybe in that mid lane. A very big presence from this team up into the top side of the map.
Okay, this pressure is not too heavy just yet. Until A7 actually, formed that Overlord attempt, it's not going to be too painful for Influence Rage. Not to say there's no danger.
I mean, look at this. This is pretty dangerous, right?
Oh, they go for the Burst Ram, the Mega Slam. Bilal just starting this one off. The Death and Sunset on the backside with the Unbridled Outburst. Use the counter, but they've got the launch up with the Truth, and they knock him down. Sony's going to be killed. Patroni now trying to do some damage. The Dream Realm just back to safety, but with 2 members down, ALPHA7 Esports, this is a huge opening.
Yep, this is the perfect timing for this side of ALPHA7. They were so happy Bilal jumped in as well when they got the burst in. It was uncanny on the side of Bilal, and now Influence Rage, they have to defend this with just 3 members.
This is going to be tough. Almighty just chipping away the T3. It's getting whittled down. Almighty had some serious damage. They take the top one as well. Now it looks like they're going to kind of disengage at this point, but ALPHA7 Esports coming out the victors of that last team fight.
Okay, Destiny has spoken as it stands now. ALPHA7 definitely in the lead.
Yes, I mean, this could be going definitely in the favor of ALPHA7, right? I mean, they are more ahead than Influence Rage. 6 kills, around about 8k gold, compared to that point where it was basically 300 gold ins and outs, right?
Yeah, every moment matters in this game, but bear in mind, this is the time where ALPHA7 will start to play a little bit more relaxed. Right now, they're just waiting for the open chances that Influence Rage will give them.
Yes, just trying to take everything they can from them, not trying to overextend. We've seen some teams within this tournament where they get to this point and throw it all away. That's something that ALPHA7 doesn't want to do because this has been hard fought for. It's not something that's come easy. Influence Rage hasn't taken it lying down. They are trying to just win this match from ALPHA7 so they can say they beat the North and the South.
Yep, Influence Rage now on their knees and probably going to be put down on the floor because ALPHA7 will not be denied this Shadow Overlord.
Yeah, showing how effective this dude pick is, right? I mean, he's thick, he's tanky, he can do the damage, he's got CC, he's able to get right into the middle of the enemy team. And then when you pair that with Zhang Fei, it's even more riskier, right?
Yep. Bear in mind, Valau is still level 12. He does not have the survivability that Influence Rage requires right now.
Yeah, no, they need some kind of like extra support on their backbone because that high ground turret is not going to be the one into the farm lane as it goes to take down here, but okay. Liempo trying to do stuff.
Trying to do stuff. They've gotten the bottom T3. The base is wide open. The super minions are pushing across. They have the Shadow Vanguard, and that's going to be the main big push that's going to be coming. Ocean of Tears are slowing things down, trying to keep it going. Influence Rage do not want to go in, but with Cozy at half-life, he needs to be a little bit more careful on this side. The bubbles are being spammed out, but here we go. The Death and Sunset, the Meteor kill, the Umbrella Outburst, but Sony's actually going to go. He's going to be killed first. Petroni's going to be killed next. Freaks is starting to go in. The Dream Realm, that connects onto 4, but there's no follow-up damage. He's in the heart of the enemy team, and he's going to go down in Almighty. Takes the double kill, and it looks like they will take the base as well as the game, and game 3 goes the way of ALPHA7 Esports.
Big win. They overpower and outmuscle their counterparts from Brazil here. ALPHA7 just back to winning ways today.
It's like as if they was waiting for that blue side, right? There was like, hey, we didn't get it in game 1. We still beat you. You had it in game 2. You beat us. But as soon as we get that blue side from game 2, game 3 was theirs.
Yep, it's a very difficult situation to play out of, right? And of course, with that being said, I need you to remember that this Valau was only at 5,000 gold.
Only 5,000 gold, but we are going to be passing it over to the host now.